Hi guys, we continue with our mathematics classes. Okay, today we will see the oblique triangles. If you remember when we saw right triangles to solve the measurement of their sides and angles, we used trigonometric functions, or we use Pythagoras theorem. Yeah. But when you are working with triangles that doesn't have a right angle, what it means that are oblique triangles, you can't use, you shouldn't use Pythagoras theorem and the trigonometric functions. You need to use laws of sine and cosine. Okay, law of sine or sine rule. This is the sine rule or law of sines. In that case, you need to remember that formula, and you only can use two parts of the formula, not the three. If you remember, when you name the angles and the sides of a triangle, remember that you use the opposite side. For example, here this is the angle A, the opposite side is A. This is the angle B, the opposite side is B. This is the angle C, the opposite side is the side C. Okay, it's very important to remember that way to name the sides and angles of a triangle. Now, when you are working with oblique triangles, you need to remember that you can't use Pythagoras theorem or trigonometric functions. You need to use sine rule or cosine rule. When you can apply a sine rule, when you have the measurement of one side and the opposite angle, you only can apply that law or that rule when you have a side, the measurement of a side and the measurement of the opposite angle. Only in that case you can use sine rule. Cosine rule, it's a little more complicated than the sine, but you need to remember when you can use cosine rule. When you have two sides, the measurement of two sides and the angle between them, is that formula. And when is the another case that you can use the cosine rule? When you need to calculate an angle and you have the three measurements of the all sides of a triangle. Only in that cases you can use cosine rule. Now we will see a sample here. Okay, two boats leave the same place. One of them has sailed 1,200 meters. In that case is the letter A. This is the first boat, and another takes 2,600 meters, the second boat. It when leaving the dock, maybe the letter C is the dock, they maintain the angle between them of 30 degrees. Okay, check that. When you are using two sides and the angle between them, remember it's the cosine rule. So what is the distance between them at this time? Now you will use that formula, but remember, when it's squared, you need to take to another side and the square root. Yeah, so you only need to use that values here. When you calculate that, this is the result of that measurement. Okay, now next one, another sample. We have the following triangle. Find the value of the missing data. Check what data do you have. You have one side, another side, you have two sides, but you don't have the angle between them. You have another triangle, another angle, sorry. So in that case, you can't use cosine rule. You need to use sine rule. Why? Because you have an angle and the opposite side. So for that case, you have the measurement of that side, but you don't have the measurement of that angle, equal to the measurement of that side and the opposite angle. You need to calculate that operation, and if when you are working with angles, you need to use the inverse of that trigonometric function. Yeah, and this is the result for the angle B. Yeah, so if you want to calculate the another side, remember, when you are working with oblique triangles, you need to use or sine rule or cosine rule. Yeah, here A divided by the sine of that angle. How you calculate that angle? Check, you have that angle and you calculate that angle. If you remember, the adding of the three inside angles of a triangle are 180. So you need to subtract from 180 the adding of 40 plus 20 degrees. Yeah, this is the result. So you can use the A divided by sine of 120 almost equals to that side and the opposite angle. Yeah, you need to calculate rule of 3, and that is the result. Yep. Okay, I will use the GeoGebra application to create another triangle, and I will explain how you can solve it. Okay, we have that triangle, and you need to check first what data do you have. If you check here, you have one angle and the opposite side of that angle and another side. So you need to use here the sine rule. Yeah, okay, so what letter do you have? B and C. So B divided by it's equals to what is another letter? C, but yeah, in that case is yeah, divided by, yep, but I will change the letter B because we know that value. Yeah, check here the opposite side, opposite side, opposite side. Okay, here that side and the opposite angle, that side and the opposite angle. So you will only use rule of 3 use the calculator here. Okay, 3425 sine of that, sine of that. Okay, multiply by and divide by. Okay. Sine of c, it's equals, yeah. When you are working with an angle, you are calculating an angle, you need to use the inverse. Yeah, remember the inverse of. So here I will use the inverse second function of sine. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me check. 2047. Yeah, it's the same angle. Yeah, it's very easy. You only need to check that you have a triangle. You have 180 degrees inside, so you will subtract that. Yep. So here 34, 25 plus 28, 47, 24. Okay. So the angle A is equal to 2 degrees. Yeah. So you have here the third angle. Now you can calculate the side A. Again, you need to use that data. The A divided by sine of, yep, here, equals 2, for example the data, you can use the same reason here. So use rule of 3. Divided by sine of. Okay. So here. Okay. Sine of that. Okay. Multiply by. Divided by. Okay. Let me check in GeoGebra. Yep, this is how you can apply the sine rule, or the law of sine. Okay, now we'll see how you can apply the cosine rule. Now we have the same triangle, but with another different data. If you check here, we can't use the sine rule because you don't have the opposite. Yeah, you have only two sides and the angle between them. So you need to use here, need to apply here the cosine rule. Yeah. So that is the formulas for cosine rule. I will use that one because I will calculate a side. So it's a large formula. B it's equals to, remember that you need to calculate the square root. So here is one side square plus another side square, subtract multiplication of cosine of the angle between them, square and square root of that. Okay, this is the result of that side. Let me check. Yep, almost 22. Yeah. Okay, now to calculate the another angles, because you only have one, you need to use that formula. Okay. So I will calculate angle. Cosine of C it's equals 2. Yeah, check here. You need to use the opposite side of the angle, negative. So is what is the opposite side of C? Square plus square plus square square divided by so now this is the result of that operation. When you are working or you are calculating an angle, remember you need to use the inverse. The inverse of that in that case is 28, 47, 5 degrees. I will check it. 28, 47. Okay, so guys, this is all about that topic. Now you will solve the exercise number 5 and the exercise number 6 of the unit number 2 and send me by Microsoft Teams, and use the equation editor of Word to do all the operations. This is all for today. I will wait for your homework, guys. See you.